Junk Journal friends, let's talk postage. I've received this pack.
So, after thoroughly researching many different ways to use postage, and then there's, pirate ship, and there's this, and there's that, and then there's those little makeshift mail places where you get your mail that are all way more expensive than just going, because all postage comes from USPS. So, at the end of the year, it still costs money if you don't just go to USPS. So I say that having been with USPS since I was, what, 20, I'm 63 now. And the more you use them directly, I have found you get greater discounts. So everybody else is paying $10 something for a 3-day priority when I was paying $8.45. So from $8.45, it just went up to such and such, such and such. And then 3 months ago, it went up to $9.60. Online, I don't go in the post office because that's more expensive. Yeah. So whoever that person went to buy postage, charge them up the wahoo for that. If you were to get that envelope and buy postage, at most, it should have been $5 at the most. And then too, you have to think about these tiny little towns. If that came from a tiny town like mine, about 20,000 people, it could be more or less for whatever reason, especially if you go into the post office. It's always more when you go into the post office. On days like, let's say I'm sending something to my brother in Puerto Rico, it should be the same as here, postage, $9.60. Okay, but when I go into the post office, it's $10 something. Well, she had to tweak the address because their addresses are very different than ours. So I understand that, but come on, $2 or $3 more? No. So I understand people say, well, when you do this, yeah, but if I have to buy an envelope that's this size, that's costs more money at the end of the year. And then it has to weigh this and it has to weigh that. That's more money at the end of the year. At the end of the year, it's always more. You guys got to do your own research. Trust and believe. It's always, or more gas to go to the store to get that kind of envelope, or get this envelope, or get this box, or go through this company and go through that. It all comes through USPS. So why go through all those other little doodad places, I call them, that sell postage? It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. And trust you me, I have worked in the clerical field for 45 years. None of it makes sense. Good girl, princess. Good girl. Um, so that's why I just stick to USPS uh um website, and I get my discounts every year. And rarely, let me see, I've been in Nebraska for 3 years. The postage just went up to $9.60. I have never paid more than what I'm paying right now for a 3-day priority. And most of the time, it does get there in 3 days. This post office here, system here, yeah, it's different. Uh, yeah, so in 3 years, that's the most I've ever paid for 3-day priority. You just got to do your own research and you do whatever works best for you. But $7, I wouldn't have bought it. I understand you said it was a gift, but if I had to pay for it, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, because that's crazy. And no tracking on anything extra for me. Well, I get automatic tracking. So if you buy an envelope and you want tracking, I am 80% sure it's only maybe $3 more. So again, at most, that package should have only cost $5. Yeah. It sucks. But if you don't pay attention to that little mom and pop place who have to charge more because you're using their swipe card thing, and they have to charge for the swipe card thing when you're buying postage, all those little things add up and people don't think about it. Some places, if they use a different machine or whatever, you have to think about the cost of living there. I live in Nebraska. The cost of living here is like boogers. So there's not a high price for anything here. I come from California. And yeah, everybody do your own research. And I'm telling you, if everything comes from USPS, why are you buying from all the other places that go to USPS to get their postage? I'm willing to be wrong. I don't have the desire to ever just be right and be stubborn. That would be a narcissist, and I'm not that. So if I'm wrong, please feel free to leave it in the comments. But that package should not have cost $7 and what, 50 cents? I think. I'm glad you got it for free, but even if you had to pay for postage, that's still too much. That is, I wouldn't have for getting something for free, I wouldn't have paid for tracking then. I mean, it's 2 stamps. It's not blood. No offense. I know probably you really wanted those stamps, so I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying we all got to watch our pennies, and that's a lot of pennies for 2 1-inch stamps, it looks like to me in the video. You know? Even if it was a Hello Kitty stamp. I love Hello Kitty. I wouldn't have paid. I would not have. I I don't know, waited till the package is bigger and worthy of $7 or something. And I get on these people on Etsy. And if you're on Etsy, don't give me no lie about, oh, well, Etsy does that automatically. No, they don't. Figure out how to find the box and uncheck it. If I'm buying something, if I'm buying a stamp from you and the stamp is $3 and postage is 10, why would I buy it from you? Figure it out. That don't make no sense to charge $10 postage for something that weighs an ounce. It makes no sense. And I know all the time I don't do math correctly, but when it comes to postage, I do. Because at the end of the year, that's a lot of postage for money. Yeah. So no, there has to be a better way. And when I move to a bigger town, I will definitely not buy 3-day priority. I will buy regular postage because the place where I plan on moving is closer to the main post office here for Nebraska. So when I move to Omaha, it's closer to Platte, I think it's called. And that's where our main post office is, Platte, Nebraska. Platte. So there will be less ways to fuck up my shit. So then I will go back to regular padded envelopes. I have my own scale. I know what to do from home using USPS website and do it myself and still not go to the post office because they're still going to charge, I don't know why, like $1 more. So I could do everything at home with myself and come out cheaper, I think. But if any of you watching this figure your way out around USPS, the only one who gives us postage, feel free to let me know. I'll try it. See if it works better at the end of the year. Now, when I say that, I mean gas and travel, and you have to go out of your house. Just going out of the house alone, that's like $50 to me in my head. And I'd rather keep my $50, my sanity, my peace, and just do it at home. All of it. And for those who don't know, USPS will come to you. Yeah, when you get an account, you'll see in there, USPS will come pick up your package. So those of us on disability, can't get out, don't have a car, you tell them, come pick up my package. While you're picking up my package, drop off some more supplies that are free. Free. $0. Yeah.